All right. Next video is one that I'm probably going to have a bit of a hard time with. But here we are. Ray's Guide, my bold Squadron 42 prediction.
Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. I love making predictions, connecting the dots, reading the tea leaves, gazing into my personal crystal ball. And along those lines, one of the most significant things about this year's Invictus Launch Week sale was the thing you couldn't buy.
Yeah. It is really interesting. Everybody's looking at it, and what he's referencing, and I'm sure he'll say it, is you can no longer buy Squadron 42 on the website. They just took it off. And then they communicated that it's to eventually raise the price of it. Raising the price of a product they've still yet to release. And you don't have to take it off the store to release it. So, very weird. I heard that this might have been some like German law issue where you can't sell a product that doesn't have a release date. And honestly, I think that that's probably what it is, and that we may see a release date at CitizenCon or something like that.
The Squadron 42 add-on package, which disappeared from the Pledge store without any announcement or fanfare on about May 21st. At the start, I ignored this because screw-ups happen, and they could have happened when they were updating the product list for the other new Invictus ships.
Yeah,
then
that's
on the
not what happened.
A week later, Xylo made the following reply to an inquiry on Spectrum. Squadron 42 has been removed from the store at its current price, but will return at a later time. This change is not meant to signify anything other than an expected price change. Now, to backtrack for those who...
Anyone believe that?
...aren't following the project closely. What is Squadron 42? It is the Persistent Universe's companion standalone game. It is the successor to the Wing Commander and Freelancer lines of products. It is single-player, standalone, mostly linear storyline with some branches and alternative plot paths, and is going to make you feel like you are inside of a movie. And not just any movie, but one with an A-list cast of well-known stars, fully rendered in 3D motion capture. You might say that's hella ambitious, and you'd be right. You might also say that it's going to be a huge sink of time and money to create, and you'd be even more right. And you might say, why haven't we heard more about this? And that is because CIG, as open as they've been about development in the Persistent Universe, have been for the last few years even more secretive about Squadron, wanting to control spoilers and build a hype in a controlled crescendo until it is finally ready for play. And with that background, I return to Xylo's statement.
But then they even like the thing that I don't like about Squadron 42 even more is now they're using it to build out features exclusively for Squadron 42 that are going to be delivered into Star Citizen without any feedback from the community. And like they're going to deliver it in what would be called a polished state, which means they may not be very interested in changing.
Squadron 42 has been removed from the store at its current price but will return at a later time. This change is not meant to signify anything other than expected price change. This might not seem to say much, but to my analytical mind it says a lot. Specifically, 1. The removal was not accidental. 2. The removal was temporary. 3. The removal was part of some sort of larger plan change. 4. The plan is not...
You know, like the larger plan change to raise the prices of Star Citizen ships, right? That was not communicated to anyone. So again, another wonderful situation of Star Citizen communication.
Not yet ready to be implemented. 5. The plan changes what CIG believes it should charge for Squadron. And 6. It took a week to write this single-sentence reply. That means it had to be approved, possibly by multiple
100%.
People high up. If this was some sort of a decision to say, well, we've been selling this for $45 forever, the price of...
Essentially, the screen name was Xylo, but the statement was executives, right? They typed on his screen name, essentially. Like, you can't apply Xylo to any of that.
AAA games is now higher than back then. It should be $50 now. Then they would just do it. Your grocer doesn't change the price of an avocado by stopping selling avocados for a week.
But your grocer sells actual avocados, right? Like, that's the difference here, is I think a lot of people are looking at this and going, you're raising the price of a thing that doesn't exist, right? Like, that's all it is. You're raising the price of a thing that doesn't exist. And yes, AAA games cost more than $45. AAA games cost $60 to $70, and they have for a long time. And like the idea of the price going up for Star Citizen or Squadron 42 is not exactly crazy, right? It's just the way they're going. Like you could just say we're raising the price. It doesn't matter.
Corporate behavior tends to follow Newton's first law of motion. Things sitting still remain sitting still, and things moving continue to moving in a straight line unless acted on by some force. This is called inertia. Planets change their direction of movement, therefore some force was acting on them, and that led Newton to the laws of gravity. And in CIG, nothing has been sitting still longer than the $45 price of the Squadron 42 add-on.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's moving. Ergo,
like anyone thinks that the amount of time and money that they've put into this game, that they're not going to set it at a $60 to $70 price is crazy. It should have just been like any other situation of, hey guys, on this date, we're planning on raising the price of Squadron 42. Invictus Launch Week is your last opportunity to get it at $45. Enjoy, right? They didn't do that because I don't think they want you to get it at $45 anymore. And they yoink it off the website so you can't, without telling you anything, so you can't because you weren't going to anyway because you didn't even know it was there, or you assumed it was going to stay at the same price because there was no communication. Very similar to the Cutlass and all this other drama that's going on, is they just yoinked it off the website so nobody can buy it. Super weird. I don't know.
Something is acting on it. What is it? Besides, if CIG feels that they have to raise more money for Squadron, then it would be much more effective to do it by selling something new, rather than increasing the price of something that most folks interested in buying it already have.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, something is going to change in order to make more people want to buy it and spend more on it. Which brings me to the prediction that I have been delaying about as much as I reasonably can. At CitizenCon this year, CIG will announce that Squadron 42 will be released for sale in October of 2024. Pre-sales will then be open at a price I predict will be in the $65 to $70 range.
Dude, they can say it's going to release tomorrow. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, look at every other game company right now. Oh, delay again, right? And they just delayed it over and over again, and that's fine. Like, they can set whatever release date they want, and it's not going to really matter, right? So they can just say what it is, put it up for sale, and they're going to delay it again.
Call me crazy. It wouldn't be the first time. Call me hyped up on hopium. And if you know me at all, you know that really isn't me. The one single consistent principle behind CIG's pricing strategy is that things sold as concepts have their price increased either when they're...
If you say it's going to be X release date and miss that date, you get fined in many countries. So Cyberpunk got fined. Starfield's getting fined. Well, so I guess what's happening is those companies don't sell the product yet, right? Is the difference where this does.
Scope changes or they get close to flyable.
I can't buy Starfield,
Since
right?
the scope of Squadron 42 is already equally unknown and massive,
Understood.
The only thing left to change is the time to flyable. The basic value proposition of Squadron 42 has always been pay well under the price of a AAA game now and get the AAA game for less than what it will cost at some unknown later time.
Exactly.
The only thing that can be changing is the date and the certainty. Why CitizenCon? Well, where else would you make that kind of announcement? And if you're planning on a surprise...
CIG is a bullshit company. Hope they go bankrupt. True. No. Nobody wants them to go bankrupt because we hope we get some really cool games.
Walk-on by one or more of the cast members, it's easier to do that in LA than just about any place else. Why have the release for sale in October of 2024? Well, that would then be the next CitizenCon after it. It would also be right in time for holiday sales. 1 year is pretty much the sweet spot for building pre-release hype without fatigue setting in. It would also then have time for the initial buyers of Starfield this year to be ready to buy another game. And finally, returning to the avocado merchants. Why stop selling the game in the meantime? Well, because this kind of release event requires preparations. Preparations raise the possibility of leaks. Leaks lead to speculation and publicity, YouTube videos, and that would lead to a rush of sales at the old price by folks just looking to profit on the price increase. CIG.
I legitimately think it's straight up legal issues, like problematic lawsuits that could happen.
Has to be believing that any sale that they lose now at 45 is a sale and more that they will make in a little while at 65 or whatever. And what would cause that? I have my answer. What do you think? And now for an update on our giveaways. First, we have the 10,000, now 12,000 subscribers.
Thank
you giveaway
issue.
for the LTI Hull C, the colossal cargo container carrying craft, giving away when the sea goes live. Now on the roadmap for 3.20, and the big annual IAE ship giveaway for the winner's choice, the Galaxy Complete, the massive modular mining moving medical machine, or the brand-new big box bargain bazaar known as the Merchantman. 1 or 2 per video for both giveaways. Just be a member and be entered automatically. Otherwise, be a subscriber and comment somehow including the secret word. And the secret word for this video is the fruit I used as an example. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond for Ray's Guide.
All right. I don't even know if I heard what fruit he's using. I couldn't hear it. But yeah, I mean, that was interesting. I mostly agree with Danny. I just wonder, I don't necessarily think that the plan is like possibly this, big release date announcement. I think more of the plan is to not get sued.